Olfactory bulb. Done.
Olfactory bulb here. Olfactory tract lies in this sulcus, and then olfactory trigone, it comes here.
Optic chiasm.
Optic chiasm here.
Tuber cinereum.
Tuber cinerum, right behind optic chiasm, we have tuber cinerum. Tuber cinerum gives rise to infundibulum and then pituitary gland.
Mammillary bodies.
Mammillary bodies, here it's quite disintegrated, but try to see these two little structures. I'll try to show it in a model.
මේක මේව කරන්නේ
And these two blocks, these are mammillary bodies.
Interpendicular fossa.
Interpeduncular fossa. See, these are cerebral peduncles. This one and this one. In between them, we have interpeduncular fossa. You can show it here as well. Those are the thalamus, no? These are thalamus. See this one here.
I didn't touch it.
Here, interpeduncular fossa.
Those are cerebral peduncles.
No, cerebral peduncles. You see, this is pons. Above that, we have cerebral peduncles. In between them, interpeduncular fossa. So it's the same here. Pons, cerebral peduncles, interpeduncular fossa. Cerebellar peduncles, they come here. Here, superior, inferior, and lateral. Sorry, middle. Next.
Anterior perforated substance.
Anterior perforated substance, they lie around this area. And they
It's in the trigone.
this area, near the trigone.
Posterior perforated substance.
Posterior perforate substance. You see, in between the cerebral peduncles, we can find the posterior perforate substance. But just show the area in between.
Okay.
This
The mammillary body is lying
near the
posterior
posterior perforate substance. So it's like in between,
on the
like
side. Peduncle.
Middle cerebellar peduncle.
so. Middle cerebellar peduncles you see here. On the model, you can
The lateral one.
so superior cerebellar peduncle, yeah.
The-
Superior cerebellar peduncle, middle cerebellar peduncle, inferior cerebellar peduncle. This area, the cerebellum is cut. Actually, cerebellum lies here, but cerebellum is cut.
Okay. The pons.
So pons. Here,
Pons.
this one's pons. Here we
Ocular-
have pons.
Oculomotor nerves.
See this one. In between the interpeduncular fossa, we have oculomotor nerve. So I'll just enumerate the nerves from here. So 6, 7, and 8, it comes along this side, the pontomedullary fissure. 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11 from behind. That is posterior lateral sulcus, posterolateral sulcus of the medulla oblongata. We have 9, 10, and 11, and 12th anterolateral sulcus. We have the 12th cranial nerve. Here the nerve is not visible. Try to find it here. So here this is posterior. So we have 6, 7, 8 from here, and then 12th cranial nerve. We have an anterior view. And here you can see. So this one, this is 12th cranial nerve. And 6, 7, 8. See, this is oculomotor nerve. 6.
Yeah.
6,
Can you see?
7, and 8. 9, 10, 11 from behind. 9, 10, and 11. And then this is 12. Right?
Trigeminal nerve.
Trigeminal nerve. You can find it around this side. No? There's this one here. This one, I think. This little piece here. Here also it's here. You can find it. Let's go inside. It's a bit inside, around this side.
Abducens, no?
Abduction. That is 6. 6, 7, 8. I told you.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
No.
Here we can't find it in the model, but from there you can see.
Medulla oblongata.
Medulla oblongata is this area. Below pons we have medulla oblongata, and you know that there is something called the decussation, motor decussation. Below the motor decussation it's spinal cord. Above motor decussation and in between pons we have medulla oblongata.
Pyramid of medulla oblongata.
So anteriorly, here the structures are quite squished. So we have pyramids from medial to lateral. We have pyramids, and then after the sulcus we have olives. So
Cessation का
Cessation में penna होने क्या है
and after that we have olives.
audio pen one.
The other listing.
It's quite squished.
Can't say, no? This is the pyramid. Here, this side should
On
be
the side.
like somewhere on the side should be the olive. You can't show it properly.
It's squished. That's why it's. There's no other brainstem there, no?
No brains. Fasciculus gracilis.
Fasciculus gracilis. From behind, we can find swollen area in the medial and the lateral side. So in the medial we have gracilis and the lateral we have cuneatus. So that's common for the spinal cord as well. So from here we can say fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, gracilis, cuneatus. But from the anterior side we have pyramids and olives.
No, I get the cheese box.
Anterior median fissure of middle oblongata.
So anterior and median fissure, it lies in between the two pyramids. So this one's anterior median fissure.
Basilar sulcus.
Basilar sulcus lies on the pons. You remember the basilar artery? It lies on the sulcus.
Flocculus.
Flocculus is here. See, this is the cerebellum. Cerebellum has the hemispheres. And then do you see these distinct parts? This and this? This is flocculus. And once you separate it, you should find nodulus. You can find the nodulus on the sagittal section. It's easier. Sagittal section with the cerebellum. Yes. So, do you see this is flocculus? See, it's distinct from the other hemispheres. Hemispheres like this. This is flocculus. And the nodulus, it's here. So, this is the vermis of the cerebellum. And this is nodulus. This view is called the arbor vitae cerebelli. It means tree of life. See, it's like a tree, so we call it tree of life.
Superior cerebellar peduncle.
Superior cerebellar peduncle. See, this is superior cerebellar vellum, so it's a part of superior cerebellar peduncle. So from that, superior cerebellar peduncle, middle and inferior.
Inferior cerebellar peduncle. Okay. Trigon of lateral lemniscus.
So that you have to use this. So you see at this area, like I told you, here this is the orientation. So here you have superior medullary vellum. Yeah. Here you have inferior medullary vellum. So from the superior medullary vellum on either sides, here and here, we have trigonum lemnici. So here you have the corpora quadrigemina. You see the quadrigeminate body, superior colliculus, inferior colliculus. So right below that, this is part of superior medullary vellum. See this flap, superior medullary vellum, and on either sides we have trigonum lemnici. Okay.
Okay. Rhomboid fossa.
Rhomboid fossa means this. That is what we see there.
Okay. Fourth ventricle.
So rhomboid fossa is where the fourth ventricle is.
Trigon of hypoglossal nerve.
Trigon of hypoglossal nerve. We have two nerves here. Medially and laterally, we have medially we have trigonum nervi hypoglossi, and after that dorsalis, nucleus dorsalis of vagal nerve.
Vagus nerve.
On lateral.
Vestibular area.
Vestibular area is here. Eighth cranial nerve. Vestibular. There are 8 nuclei, if you remember. Superior, inferior, anterior, posterior, and medial and lateral. Yeah.
Median aperture of fourth ventricle.
Median
Aperture of fourth ventricle.
You can show it on the side.
So we can show it
Side view here. No? Side view here, you can show the median, lateral.
median, no? So there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 apertures, no? On superior, inferior, and then there's lateral. So fourth ventricle median should be around like this area, where it communicates to the central canal. Yeah.
Okay. Lateral aperture.
Lateral aperture. So above the median part, we have the lateral on either sides, and then superior and inferior.
Lamina tecti.
Lamina tecti. So this So on actually lamina tecti consists of corpora quadrigemina. So this is quadrigeminate body. So if you get a longitudinal section, the part beyond the aqueductus sylvius, we have a midbrain.
That you can show.
Midbrain,
Just the midbrain.
So you can show this. This one. This is also lamina tecti. See,
Okay.
like on the posterior side to the aqueductus sylvius, we have lamina tecti, and anteriorly we have the other parts of midbrain.
Cerebral aqueduct.
Lamina tecti means here, right? See, corpora quadrigemina, lamina tecti. So cerebral aqueduct is here, which runs
Superior colliculus.
superior colliculus from here, from lamina tecti. We have superior colliculus and inferior colliculus.
Thalamus.
Thalamus. So here thalamus should be in this region, but let's see the sagittal section. This one maybe. So this area you see here, this is thalamus.
Sagittal
From sagittal edge.
Yeah.
But this is quite removed, no? It's further deep. This one is thalamus, see? This one is thalamus. This is the identifying structure for thalamus. You can find the, what's this, the white commission, not cingulate, corpus callosum. Corpus callosum, below that you find thalamus.
Anterior thalamic nuclei. Tubercle.
Anterior,
Tubercle.
these are cerebral peduncles. So above the peduncles we have the thalamus actually. So these are peduncles since thalamus is removed. Let's see in the model. So here, this part, if you get a model, so look at this. So as you can see here, this is the pons, and here we have the cerebral peduncle, and the thalamus is not there. If the thalamus is there, there will be a part here, which is the anterior thalamic tubercle, and behind we have the pulvina. Is it there?
Yeah.
Pulvina is behind. It covers the medial and lateral geniculate bodies.
Interthalamic adhesion.
So, in the thalamus, if this brain is not that much destroyed, I can find one here. So, let's say from on this medial side we have a small dot. Actually, this dot functioned as
Better, right? Is that brain better?
Just get it. So in here anyway you can find the interthalamic adhesion. See this dot, white dot. This is interthalamic adhesion. So if you revise the communications of the two hemispheres, we have the anterior commissure, which you will find in the pointings. I'll show that. We have the anterior commissure. We have the habenular commissure, and also we have the corpus callosum, which is joining the two hemispheres. And additio interthalamica, it can also function as a the connection for two hemispheres.
Third ventricle.
Third ventricle. Third ventricle. Third ventricle actually lies in between the two thalami. So just show the area of the thalami and say there was that the
lateral wall of the third ventricle
is in the thalamus. Yeah, the lateral wall of the third ventricle is thalamus.
Epithalamus.
Epithalamus. So can I show it that? So we have the epithalamus, metathalamus, and hypothalamus. You know what hypothalamus is? Metathalamus is the medial and lateral geniculate body, and epithalamus is the area consisting of the habenular commissure, the habenular triangles. So I think if we have the model, let's try to find the model. So epithalamus actually is the pituitary gland. Yeah. So you can show the habenular commissure together with the pituitary gland and say that's the pineal gland. Epithalamus together with the pineal gland, you can call it pineal gland together with the habenular, you can call it epithalamus. Or just the pineal gland, surface epithalamus.
Medial geniculate body.
Medial geniculate body. Wait, maybe we can find pineal gland in. Yeah, there was a young brain where we had a prominent pineal gland. It's not here, no? Also can't show. So actually I'll just describe where it lies in. So you see this quadrigeminate body. Above that we have the thalami. The two thalami is lying like this. In between the thalami we have the habenula commissure, and from this part we have the, like around here, the pineal gland lies in. But in adults it anyway disintegrates, so that's why you don't find it in these brains. So around this area the epithalamus should lie. Okay.
Okay. Medial geniculate bodies.
Medial geniculate bodies. Okay, this section. Here it's destroyed. So actually medial geniculate body, you see this is superior colliculus. It gives off an arm and then it gives medial geniculate body.
Lateral, na? Superior colliculus, lateral geniculus.
Superior medial, no?
Superior medial.
Superior medial.
Superior lateral, inferior
And
medial.
inferior
Inferior
Yeah.
medial.
This is the lateral
Ah, yeah,
geniculate
it
body.
comes
This
here.
is the medial geniculate body.
Right, on this side.
Yeah.
So inferior is giving medial and superior it gives lateral geniculate body.
Hypothalamus.
Hypothalamus, you can show it in the sagittal section of the brain. You can find this one and show it. So, this area.
Subthalamus.
Subthalamus. So
Same thing behind.
same thing but under the thalamus.
Under.
Subthalamus around this area. See, no?
Medullary stria of the thalamus.
So there are two medullary strias. Since they said thalamus, I'll show that later. So medullary stria, it lies here. In the medulla we have the medullary stria, and also medullary stria which connects the caudate nuclei to the putamen. So caudate nuclei. So the caudate nuclei is this is the head of the caudate nuclei. So it runs up like this. And the tail is actually connected to the putamen by the medullary stria. Not here. If you get a thalamus, just show the size of the thalamus. Can I draw and show? You have a pen and a paper? So if you see, this is the putamen, and then this is the caudate nuclei. From the caudate nuclei we have strias like this, which communicates with the putamen circuit like this. Okay, so this is what we call stria medullaris. So if there was a thalamus here, you just show that area and say that's stria medullaris.
Habenular commissure.
Habenular commissure, so superior this part, no?
Yeah.
So so here we can say this is the habenular triangle. See, and then we can say this is the habenular commissure, and from that we should find the epithalamus or the pineal body. Okay.
Yeah. Fornix.
Phonics. We don't have.
Here, I think you might be able to. Not
No, no.
From
the-
actually it's from mammillary body. You see, from this mammillary body, and then we have the
column of
columna
the form.
phronesis, corpus phronesis, and then crus phronesis. So phronix means from the mammillary body to this whole area.
And then it continues into the
The
parahippocampus.
hippocampus, yeah.
Hippocampus, yeah, hippocampus, sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
This one is phronix.
Anterior cerebral commissure.
Anterior cerebral commissure. So if you have a good brain, then try to. It's like from this is the corpus callosum. So this is genum, rostrum, and this is truncus. So right after the rostrum, we should get the anterior cerebral
Terminalis
commissure.
and then anterior cerebral.
Yeah, like lamina terminalis runs like this.
Terminalis,
There is
and
the
there is a-
like this one. See, lamina terminalis here, and then anterior commissure here. This one.
Okay. Posterior cerebral commissure.
So posterior cerebral commissure lies in contact with the habenular commissure. So, but they are distinct, they are different. So here we have the habenular commissure. Right below it we have posterior cerebral commissure.
Interventricular foramen.
Interventricular foramen, it actually lies, theoretically it lies in between the anterior tubercle of the thalamus and columna phronesis. So if we have like this spring here, and this we can see. So columna phronesis, do you see here, this is the columna phronesis, like from here. So there are two leg-like stuff, see? One here, one here. So in between this and say this, if this is the thalamus, we have the interventricular foramen here and here. So they communicate into the third ventricle. Third ventricle, or you can show this part as well. So second ventricle, these are lateral ventricles, and this is third ventricle. So if they are asking about interventricular foramen, you can show like this.
Choroid membrane of third ventricle.
Choroid membrane, it's you can show part of diameter. So you see this purple layer. This is choroid membrane. Choroid membrane is in here as well as you see here the inferior medullary velum of the fourth ventricle. Yeah, here it should have been there, but like this little tissue you see. I think that's an artery.
CSF හදන.
Yeah, it secretes cerebrospinal fluid. Part of pia mater. See in here. See, do you see this part? This purple thing? This is tila choroidea. Okay. Not very clear, no? Not very clear here.
Lateral cerebral sulcus.
So lateral cerebral sulcus, cerebral hemisphere.
The Sylvian fissure.
Yeah. Lateral cerebral sulcus,
Or the Sylvian fissure.
the Sylvian fissure. Yeah. It's this one. You guys got this from the cadaver room?
මේ ඔක්කොම ඉන්දියා ගේවා. And ඔබ දෙක.
I think Madam Arna's one will be useful.
හොඳ විතර ගත්තා.
Lateral cerebral sulcus. So this is temporal lobe, frontal lobe, lateral cerebral sulcus.
Okay. Corpus callosum.
Corpus callosum. Corpus callosum we showed earlier. So this is corpus callosum. We have the parts of corpus callosum as well.
Yeah. Genu trunk.
Corpus callosum.
Genu of corpus callosum.
Genu means knee, so this bent part.
Trunk.
Truncus means the body,
Splenium.
and splenium is here, and then
Rostrum.
is here. Rostrum means roof. So this is roof.
Septum pellucidum.
Septum pellucidum is actually a clear layer. Do you see this remnant? This should have been complete.
Yeah.
So that it separates the two hemispheres in between like this.
Frontal lobe.
So frontal lobe. You see this is the central sulcus.
Central gyrus.
From the central sulcus we have the frontal lobe. And it's distinguished by this lateral sulcus. Lateral cerebral sulcus.
Parietal lobe.
Frontal lobe is from here to the anterior side we have frontal lobe. From the central sulcus to the posterior side we have parietal lobe.
Temporal lobe.
Temporal lobe here, the lateral cerebral sulcus, and we have temporal lobe.
Occipital lobe.
Occipital lobe, actually there is no clear line to distinguish it, but the actual ways you see this is occipito-temporal sulcus. Parieto-occipital sulcus. Parieto-occipital sulcus, once you draw the line till the occipital notch, which is here, so from this area we call it occipital lobe.
Central sulcus.
Central sulcus from sorry, this one. This is this one.
Precentral sulcus.
So central sulcus. After that we have precentral sulcus.
Postcentral sulcus.
Behind postcentral sulcus.
Precentral gyrus.
Precentral gyrus.
Postcentral gyrus.
Postcentral gyrus. Here, let's try to find it in different. So if this is central sulcus, precentral sulcus, postcentral sulcus, So this is precentral, postcentral, then precentral gyrus, postcentral gyrus.
Superior frontal sulcus.
Virus maker.
Yeah, postcentral gyrus is from here.
Superior frontal sulcus.
So frontal sulcus, there are actually three, which is not very clearly distinguished. So do you see? This is the fissure, the median, the sagittal fissure of the cerebellum. After that, you can find a fissure like this. So this is superior frontal
Sulcus.
sulcus,
Inferior frontal sulcus.
inferior frontal sulcus. It divides them into three gyruses:
middle.
superior frontal gyrus, middle, inferior frontal gyrus.
Insula.
Lobus insula. So once you separate here, it's quite stiff. Let's try to find it again. Once you separate this like that, like this, you see this area. This inside. This is lobus insula. Or you can get a sagittal section, I mean longitudinal section, and try to show it here. This is lobus insula. Right next to the putamen.
Lateral to the claustrum, right?
Yeah, claustrum is in between. Like
Superior parietal lobule.
superior parietal lobule. So you have the parietal sulcus, interparietal sulcus. Interparietal sulcus divided into superior parietal lobe and inferior parietal lobe.
Supramarginal gyrus.
Okay, supramarginal gyrus. Do you see this is the lateral sulcus? In here we have supramarginal gyrus, area which is responsible for practicing. So apraxia arises once this area is destroyed. That means you can't learn new things.
Angular gyrus.
So this is superior temporal sulcus. So this ends in angular gyrus. So the area which it calls for is reading. Sorry. So angular gyrus, it's responsible for reading, and once this area is destroyed, you get alexia. You can't read.
Inferior temporal sulcus.
Inferior temporal sulcus. Yeah. So superior temporal sulcus here, inferior temporal sulcus you can see here. Let's try to find it in the superior temporal sulcus, inferior temporal sulcus. See, this is the lateral cerebral sulcus, superior and inferior.
Middle temporal gyrus.
Okay. So here we have superior temporal gyrus, middle temporal gyrus, and inferior temporal gyrus divided by the superior and inferior temporal sulcuses.
Collateral sulcus.
Collateral sulcus, you need to turn it upside down like this. Here it's not very visible. Let's try to find in this. Right, this is uncus hypothalamus. So collateral sulcus, it lies around here. So we have the hippocampus here.
This you might be able to show better, no?
Here it's covered by this area, that's why.
Collateral and
Collateral.
no, this is collateral.
Collateral comes around this area. Or maybe is it in the model? So we can enumerate from medial to lateral. We have the parahippocampal gyrus, the parahippocampal sulcus around here, parahippocampal gyrus. Then we have the collateral sulcus, and then from collateral sulcus we get the fusiform gyrus. Then after that we have here, this area is the inferior temporal gyrus, and then we have the temporo-occipital sulcus, that's around here, around this area, which divides it into medial and lateral occipitotemporal gyrus.
These, no?
So here,
Medial and temporal, occipitotemporal gyruses.
yeah, that area.
Occipitotemporal sulcus.
So occipitotemporal sulcus, it arises from the
Yeah, here, no?
yeah, around this area, and then it divides into medial and lateral occipitotemporal gyruses.
Okay. Straight gyrus.
Gyrus rectus is here. So you remember the olfactory tract, right? Medial to it, we have the straight gyrus.
Okay. Olfactory sulcus.
Olfactory sulcus is where the olfactory tract lies in.
Occipitotemporal sulcus.
Occipitotemporal, we had a section. So here we see occipitotemporal, yeah?
Yeah.
That is here.
The one we showed earlier.
Yeah,
This
earlier,
one.
which divides into medial and lateral. So in this one, we can say it's here. Medial, it's dividing it into medial and lateral. Medial and lateral. Occipitotemporal sulcus. In this one, we showed this one,
Yeah.
medial. The occipitotemporal sulcus, which divides into medial and lateral. Occipitotemporal gyrus.
Parahippocampal gyrus.
So hippocampus. So here, you should get parahippocampal gyrus.
Gyrus.
Here, which continues into uncus.
Uncus, yeah.
Next is what?
Sulcus corpus callosum.
Sulcus corpus callosum is right above the corpus callosum. You get sulcus corpus callosi. Then you get gyrus cingulate. Is it in the
Yeah, cingulate gyrus. Yeah.
in the cerebral artery? Anterior cerebral artery.
The middle
goes up.
cerebral artery runs down. Also.
Middle cerebral artery runs this way and runs into this one.
Anterior, no? Oh, anterior cerebral.
Anterior
yeah,
cerebral.
Anterior cerebral.
runs
artery.
up.
Paracentral lobule.
Paracentral
Lobule.
lobule. So on this side, see the central sulcus. So here in this brain, the central sulcus is quite distinct. Central sulcus, it goes up and comes here. Can you see?
Yeah.
So it divides it into paracentral lobules.
Precuneus.
So precuneus. So this is cuneus. This
Cuneus.
triangle shaped one, cuneus. In front of it, precuneus.
Calcarine sulcus.
So this is calcarine sulcus. Occipitotemporal sulcus here and calcarine sulcus. So in sagittal section, we can see this part. This one, calcarine sulcus.
Uncus.
Uncus is where the hypothalamus, not hypothalamus, the hippocampus ends. Like uncus is here.
Anterior horn of lateral ventricle.
Anterior horn actually runs like this. From there we can show. See, anterior horn of the lateral ventricles.
Posterior horn.
Posterior horn here and here. Posterior horns.
Caudate nucleus.
Caudate nucleus. It runs like that, but here do you see on either sides of the anterior horn? So this is a head of the caudate nucleus. It runs like this. Like this.
Lentiform nucleus.
Okay. Lentiform nucleus. Do you see this triangle area like a lens? You see this rough area here
Yeah.
like a triangle?
Yeah.
So this is what we call lentiform nuclei. This includes both the putamen and globus pallidus. So here there are this one, this area. You see? So this is lentiform nuclei. Then we have the putamen.
Yeah. Putamen.
Then we have globus pallidus. These
Globus
both of these parts are called globus pallidus. And
External,
then globus
internal.
pallidus internus and globus pallidus externus.
External.
Can you show it how it nucleus there? Head of the caudate nucleus. And it runs up like this, and then the tail runs down.
Internal capsule.
Internal capsule. It's better if I show there. So there is capsula interna, capsula externa, and capsula extrema. So let's start from capsula extrema. It's bordered by this. This is called the claustra. It's very thin there. I'll try to show it. Then here we have capsula extrema. This is capsula externa, and this is capsula interna. So this is where the tracts, the spinal tracts, we run through. Yeah, around 7, I guess. Next.
Anterior median fissure of spine.
We'll try to find it. So let's try to see if we can find claustra. Here, I don't think the claustra is that visible. Claustra actually lies around here, right near the lobus insula. See this lentiform nuclei? So that lobus insula. Then after that we have capsula extremas. Then medially we have the claustrum. After claustrum we have capsula externa. Now this is the lentiform nuclei. Can't distinguish pallidus and putamen properly. Then inside that, see this? This is capsula interna.
That has 3 parts, no? Anterior leg.
There is anterior forks,
anterior,
body and posterior forks.
posterior forks, yeah.
Posterior forks here, like this.
Here, finally.
Let's try to find.
No, that section is
There's
too.
a thin line, yeah? Can you see?
You can see on this side.
This
Yeah.
That's the problem.
this is the it's very thin, not very distinct. It should be around here,
Somewhere there.
but it's not very distinct.
Okay. What's the next? Anterior median fissure of spinal cord.
Anterior in spinal cord, you don't know spinal cord.
Spinal cord and
You know that medulla, I told you that anterior median fissure,
Yep.
just like that. In the same structure follows in spinal cord.
Optic tract.
Optic tract. See, this is the optic chiasm. Optic chiasm continues into the optic tract. Where is that?
the orbital cell side. Orbital cell side මෙතන තියෙන්නේ.
Actually, it's that part is missing here.
Orbital cell side මෙතන තියෙන ඒක මිස් වෙනවා.
Miss one
බලමු.
Optic tract. Actually, there's a band which runs like this. In here, since the thalamus is removed, I think it's removed with it too. So a band runs like this, starting from the optic chiasm.
Come to granulate bullet.
If you can get Madam Anna's this thing, try to find that.
She has locked it inside the cupboard.
What's the this thing? Orbital.
Next time, if you can find like an optic tract, or the optic tract.
Optic tract.
The optic chiasm is here, and from that we have the optic tract
Yeah,
running
down also, and
it's flat and quite thick,
Yeah.
but here it's removed. Can't find even a part of it.
Goes to the lateral geniculate body, then the superior colliculus.
Superior colliculus, and then occipital area after that.
Yeah.
Optic nerves.
Optic nerve. So
We show it out there.
optic nerve forms the optic chiasm. So optic nerve here.
Anterior to the chiasm.
Orbital sulci.
So here we have orbital sulci, 3 sulci like this. These are orbital sulci.
This flower-like structure. That's it.
That's it.